Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you, and thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some mezcals, some agave, smoked agave type spirits, okay? The Montelobos has been around for, man, I'm going to say almost like 8 years that I can remember when they first came out with the espadín. That one retails even now like at about $40. Back then it was like 35, so even wasn't that much less expensive. But it was always very well crafted. I remember thinking that it was a little heavy on the smoke profile, but it was well made. Okay, so I was happy with it. Well, most recently, when I was down in Jalisco, I saw these two. And I thought I had seen them here, but I wasn't positive at the time. And I was like, kind of like one of those things where you just got to make the decision. So I went in and picked them up. They are available here, but fortunately, I did save a little money from getting them from down in Mexico. But we have the Montelobos Ensamble, which means a blend of agaves. And then we have the Montelobos Pechuga, which typically means it's a chicken or turkey in the distillation process, all right? Let's see. And then from there, we're going to go to Cinco Centavos. And this one is the Pechuga de Mole Poblano. And this one, yeah, we'll get to that. Price-wise, the Montelobos, they actually have let's see, the espadín, they have a tobala, I think. But this one was about $80 here and about $125 for the Pechuga. This one, the Mole Cinco Centavos, that one was about $150. I've seen it as high as like $175, $200, but I found it for $150, okay? All right, now going back to Montelobos, the ensemble, they talk about there's a use of 3 different types of agave, of course, espadín, and there's a couple others I'll put in the just put up here. And then they actually use a shredder mill to shred them up after they've been, again, kind of roasted underground, those earthen pits. They bring them up, they shred them, they go into open pine fermenters where they're going to ferment, and then they get distilled. All right. Now, on the nose, the ensemble. This one is 45.3 proof, if I remember. Yes, 45.3% ABV. All right, here we go. On the nose, very buttery. Buttery, and it's not really super fruity. All right, this one's more savory, I guess would be the word I would use for it. Dusty, almost like sage. Sandalwood, which is strange because there's no oak. I mean, look at it, it's crystal clear. There's no oak involved in this, but not the most complex, but there's a little bit of olive as well. All right, here we go. On the taste. Good, medium, just above medium viscosity, sweet, savory. Smoke kind of eases in. At first, I do pick up a little lime zest. That's about the extent of the fruit. There's lime zest on it. You get this fresh agaves, kind of a mix of lightly vegetal. That's that olive, kind of green and black olive combined, in with a little bit of like there is a little bit almost like a smoked meat component here, which makes me wonder if he did any of this distillation after a Pechuga run. Because if you do a Pechuga run, sometimes the copper will trap some of that flavor and then kind of leach that into your distillations that follow. If you think of Springbank and you think of Hazelburn following Longrow and how Hazelburn is the unpeated version, but it always has a little peat from the Longrow, that kind of thing. So this one, when I taste it, it's sweet and savory. Little salty, little briny as well. Little salt. Yeah, it's like a salted meat. And then sage and sandalwood, which is so crazy because that's, again, no oak, but there is sandalwood here. It's like a very, very nice. That white pepper is in there on that back end. The smoke has a little bit of tar to it, almost like tar ropes. That smell of a tar rope. That's in there on the flavor component. I do remember that being a thing with the original espadín from years back, that I remember when I tasted it, I thought the smoke was a little heavy and it was almost a little asphalt tarish, and this one still has that. But buttery and savory. That's very, very good at $80. That's a really nice buy. Now we're stepping up to 47.9% ABV for the Pechuga. Now this one they're using turkey breast, and they went as far as to make sure it was bringing somebody in to make sure it was kosher certified turkey breast. So this is a kosher mezcal, I guess. And this one is using, let's see, espadín. So this is just an espadín where I think on the third fermentation, on the third distillation, they're putting that turkey breast hanging in a basket in the still. Okay, that's what's going on here. Sorry, wrong glass, this one. That would have been a big mistake. All right. Tehona crushed here. So a little more old school where they're using that big lava rock 2-ton type Tehona to roll around, pulled by a donkey. This one probably is pulled by a donkey. And let's see. Yep. All right. Let's see what we get here on the nose. A little less. There's still a little olive in here, but this one's leaning a little more black than green. It's not quite as buttery as over here. There's a soured, almost like a soured, I almost want to say plum. But again, these fruit components, they're not super bright on the super fruit. You know what I mean? They're not, I wouldn't call these fruity mezcals. And the smoke's a little cleaner here. I guess it is almost like a little bit of a soured meat component. All right, here we go. Wow. Okay. Lemon. Meyer lemon. The little lime zest. So this one was just straight lime zest. It was almost kind of chalky. This one with the sandalwood and the sage. That's pretty much where this one was going with that green and black olive. Buttery. This one's cleaner, less chalk. Still sage, but more lemon lime up front. That thing was just, wow, big with that. Maybe even orange blossoms. Yeah, because it is almost right in that line of citrus orange and floral. It's orange blossom. Once you get past that, that olive was just a little bit of black olive in this one. It's not even, I wouldn't call that very big. So if you don't like black olives, don't worry about this one because you're not going to pick up a ton of that at all. That lemon lime, that orange blossom, you're going to pick up. As far as the pechuga and, the supposedly meatiness that's going to impart, I pick up more of that kind of, again, tarish rope in there. And maybe on the very back end, you pick up a little saltiness and a little sourness of the meat. Maybe just a little bit in there in the back end. But overall, for the experience, I really do like this one with that lemon lime and that orange blossom and the sweetness of it. And then going into that little bit of, I could see where it's a little salty turkey sage thing. There's that on the very back end, but it's more about the upfront. Okay, so this one at 125, still really happy with it. Of the two, that's tough because I really like that. I'm gonna go right back to this one. I mean, savory, purity, just like cheaper. This one's really nice. This one's very enjoyable. But to get that orange blossom, that's rare. So I like them both for different reasons, and I'm glad they're not too similar. But this one does not scream meatiness by any means. Okay. Now, when I look at the back of the Cinco Sentados, and it says, let's see, it uses, the blue agave basically is what they're using here, that he harvested in his wife's hometown. I guess and then it was see, fermented with local spring water. Once it was completed, he filled the boiling chamber of his own still with fermented mash from the cultivated blue agave, along with already recently distilled run of blue agave. He then placed a basket of raw chicken breast and traditional mole poblano made with ingredients such as apples, bananas, peanuts, walnuts, chili mulato, chili ancho, chocolate anise, cinnamon, and cumin, or cuminos. Between the boiling chamber and condensing chamber of his handmade three-plated copper stills, he proceeded to power the two copper stills with open flame, and over the course of a week distilled approximately 200 liters of this, bottled in December of 22. Man, okay. Let me double rinse on this one. By the way, I actually think this one will do better with a drop of water because once I rinsed my mouth with it, it was presenting very, very well. So you might want to add just one more drop, and it's going to bring out more smoke. If you want more, that kind of hickory smoke, add a drop of water to it. All right, here we go. On the nose. Golly, are you kidding me? Oh, God goodness. This is a huge aromatic nose. Like, I mean, this doesn't happen very often. It's like, I mean, you definitely pick up all the mole, the chocolate, that kind of walnutty spices. Just like it says, it's like bananas and chilies. All that's in there. Good grief. The apples, and it's buttery and it's savory. And it's the highest ABV. This one was 48.5 on the ABV. What did it say? It said it was apples, bananas, peanuts, walnuts, and the chilies with the chocolate, anise, cinnamon, and cumin. Huh. Yeah, it's got all that on the nose. But man, such a huge presentation. And now we're going to taste it. Gosh, yeah. It's a whole nother level. But this is a level where very few mezcals reach this kind of level. So, as great as these are, and I think these are great for the money. Again, 80, 125, 150 to 200. This 150 to 200 is on another level. And you can spend $200, 150 on other bottles that are not as good. All right. I mean, to be honest, kind of La Venosa Puntas, the last one I picked up, was about that price, and it wasn't nearly this good. That's a good mezcal. All right, it is, but it's just not on this level. It's savory. It's got the apples. It's got the ones that I'm picking up are the apples, the cinnamon. It almost tastes like cardamom. And you get, God, it's so crazy how that tastes. Because you do get like a woodiness. Again, this one's like Palo Santo wood, sandalwood, little white sage in here. And then you get that kind of the banana, and those chilies and the chocolate, that kind of anise, licorice root in there. Man, good grief. Yeah, this isn't, yeah. I mean, how would I buy these? I would buy them all because they're all different, but I definitely want to have this one. And then from there, I would say, it's a toss-up. I might lean this one just because it's cheaper than the Pechuga. But, ratings are all subjective, right? Those are my ratings. Everyone's palate's different. But if you enjoy unbiased content that is not paid for by anyone, please consider joining me over at patreon.com/LiquorHound, because that's the only way I'm able to self-fund bottles like this that I purchase to review for you, to give you these, again, just, you know, I don't owe anybody anything for this. I didn't contacted by any of these companies. I don't get anything from them. So I hope you enjoy that. And if you do, join us over there. But if you can't, totally understand that. I thank each and every one of you, regardless of platform, for being here. Keep leaving all those great comments, and I'll get back to them just as soon as I can. Everyone have a great day, and cheers.